That's good. Who are you?
Well, this Idle No More started from 4 women, and Pam Palmater is one of them. She's the spokesperson, and the chief Teresa Spence in 2011 asked Stephen Harper, to come and help with the situation in Attawapiskat Cree Nation in Northern Ontario. And
Georgette Waythuk.
it was ignored. People showed up there. People come and sang songs there.
Right there.
People brought, Akwesasne brought some food and clothing there last year. Teresa Spence went to just talk to try to get help from Stephen Harper last year, 2011. Well, a year before, a couple of days ago. And because the people in Attawapiskat don't have running water, and then somebody that non-native said, oh well, they're spending their money foolishly. No. I lived just south of Churchill, and we never got any fresh vegetables there. In the town of Gillam, where the dams were, we used to get our milk delivered frozen. 1 liter of juice, $29. You add that up, you know. I worked for Indian Affairs about 7-8 years ago. No, I worked there for the Y2K program. They thought the world was going to end. Y2K, the government of Canada got 20 people, 2 people per province. At that time we had 10 provinces. Now we have like the Arctic, Northwest Territories, you know, that area. And so now the people in, when we were working with Indian Affairs, there was one lady, she was a Cree woman from, I believe, Fox Lake Cree Nation. Her Manitoba hydro bill was in the thousands of dollars per month, and so she didn't speak any English. So she took her bill to the chief, her hydro bill, and what happened was the guys said to me, what should be done, and we all discussed. I said, take an axe and axe out the walls. And it was a contracted construction group that was hired through Indian Affairs in Winnipeg that went up to Fox Lake Cree Nation Band, which is just outside of Gillam, where all the dams are built. Gillam, Kettle Rapids Dam, that feeds New York State, by the way. And 3 of the walls had no insulation. And that was hired by the government, right? And because she went from being in a wigwam or a teepee to being put into these 4 walls, where 1 wall had insulation. And so no wonder why her bills were high. And this is all across a lot of our people. Out of the 663 reserves in Canada, there's 130 of them, or 113, I can't remember, it's 130 or 113 of them. Chief Sean Atleo, our national chief, Sean Atleo, visited, and that's the same thing, what I just told you about that story. The hydro bills, this, that, the food, everything. And people were tired of it, and everybody, Northern Alberta, there's a reserve right there where they're getting diamonds, the best diamonds, beers, De Beers, all those diamonds, and the people don't even have running water. Oh yeah, we're gonna have equality hiring purposes. No, it's beyond that.
So are you from Churchill, or are you previously from Churchill?
No, we're from Kinosao-Sipi and Otehqueh-Sipi Cree Nations, which is central and northern Manitoba. The white people called us Norrie House Cree. Cree is a French word. That's not who we are. We're Muskego and Innuak. And so the bills that we have, Bill C-45, the Job and Growth Act, Omnibus bill includes Indian Act amendments regarding voting on reserve land surrender designations. Bill C-27, First Nations Financial Transparency Act. Bill S-2, Family Homes on Reserve and Matrimonial Interests or Right Act. Bill S-6, First Nations Elections Act. Bill S-8, Safe Drinking Water for First Nations. And I'm going to say one thing. I believe the Bill 115 that they're putting on the TV, that's part of the water and the land for the rest of the Canadians. It's not just an Indian thing here. This is for all of Canada. Everyone's freedoms and rights are gone down the drain. They better wake up. Bill C-428 Indian Act Amendment and Replacement Act. This list is a list of Senate public bills. Bill S-207, an act to amend the Interpretation Act. Bill S-212, First Nations Self-Government Recognition Bill and First Nations Private Ownership Act. All of these bills, including the one on television that you see here in Cornwall through Cogeco and Bell TV, are in direct violation of Articles 18, 19, and 20 of the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People and the people that live here in Canada. And there's Articles 18, 19, 20 that explains the violations. I have a copy here of the bills that were introduced into Parliament in October. That was Stephen Harper has been strategizing to put these bills in that started in October because everybody's going to be busy with Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, Canadian and American Christmas. And so they went on their 2-week holiday, and if these bills pass, the U.S. is right there because he's been meeting with Obama, okay? In the House of Commons in Parliament, Stephen Harper and his crew strategized. They've been doing this for a long time, okay? These bills just didn't pop out of nowhere. They've been sitting privately and having meetings. And by the way, Canadians, you can go to Parliament, you can go to any local your local municipality and sit there, listen to the mayor and his meetings. It's your legal right. Has anyone done it? Does anyone know what's going on? Do you know that the welfare system here in Cornwall, the mayor signs the checks? I just learned this yesterday talking to a woman on the street. I said, how come there's so many people going into the welfare office? She says, oh, all the people start saying our checks weren't signed by the mayor. That's illegal. Hello, people, like, stop drinking and stop the booze, stop the alcohol. You better wake up because we're going into martial law here, okay? October 18th was the introduction and first reading at the House of Commons with these bills. The 41st Parliament, first session, June 2nd, 2011 to present. Bill C-45, a second act to implement certain provisions of the Budget 29, 2012 and other measures, short titled Jobs and Growth Act 2012. Excuse me. Sponsor, it says sponsor, and then underneath, Minister of Finance. Last stage completed, Royal Asset. 2012, December 14. Progress. Status of the bill. By the way, Harper, you know, the Governor General represents the Queen here in Canada. Okay? And so not only does Stephen Harper rapport with her, but he gets his directions from the Queen of England. Okay? Status of the bill. House of Commons. First reading. Show sittings. Introduction and first reading. 2012, October 18. Second reading and referral to committee. 2012, October 30th. Halloween, the Satanist high day. Lots of them in town here too, by the way. I'd like to let them know I'm here. Committee, Standing Committee on Finance. Committee reported presented December 2012, November 26th. Occurrence at report stage, 2012, December 4th. Third reading, 2012, December 5th. So they're really trying to push this through fast. Okay, I gotta get to page 2 here. If people in Cornwall and surrounding areas, the reserve, want to learn about this, you go to www.idlenomore.ca. Okay, and it goes on and on. I see that the crew is coming there. But we can stop here and get my daughter to add some more things.
And what is your name, I'm sorry?
Rita Campbell.
Thank you so much for taking time with us.
Yeah. It's time for me to stop.
I'm Rose McLeod. I'm from the Norway House Cree Nation in Manitoba, and I live in this area.
Yes.
And I basically support this Idle No More because it goes against all of our natural rights, our traditional rights to this land, and many times before we haven't been consulted, and right now this is the ultimate fight we're in for our lives, for our land, for our children, our grandchildren, and I don't agree with this because we need something to pass on to our future generations, so I totally support my people in this all the way. You know, we're supposed to live in peace and respect each other, and that's not what's happening, and it hasn't been happening. So if people knew what the two-row wampum stood for, especially the Harper government, then they would have a little bit more understanding about who we are as a people. And there's many nations, there's not just one nation, there's Crees, there's Mohawks, Ojibways, Tahltan, Gitxsan, all the way to the west coast, and the Dene, the Inuit, and there's a lot of us, so he has a lot of people to be dealing with when it comes to the land. You know, it doesn't just belong to one person.